for an authentic man?
The third thing about an authentic man is his engagement. Where does he apply his mental, emotional forces? How a man treats his work shows the type of man that he is. His occupation. These men that he asks, where are you? I'm here. Can I come? Yes. These men who are loose about their work, they are loose about everything. You must be able to track and see his engagement, how he engages himself in trying to master his environment, because work is mastering the environment to produce for you. How he masters his environment, it shows you, because that is where you see his strength in trying to produce. So you have to ascertain that. Don't just be on the tail end that he shows up for a date at coffee. Try and go where he works and see how he works, and see how he is as a master. See how he treats his juniors. See how he acts with the seniors. That is where you see him. That is where you will know him. There, his true self comes out.
Can you also
under somebody?
Can you also, as a lady, can you figure out how he engages by the way he talks about what he does?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
so,
you can figure out. That will show you.
Instead of going to where he's working, people can say,
you can just she's there to snoop around and all that. But you can just see how he talks about what he works, when he works, his work ethic, his drive for work, his motivations for work.
His passion, is he passionate about it?
He's passionate about it. You don't want to get somebody who, when he's dating, he tells he's a businessman, then you say yes, he starts hanging on the phone, sleeping in the house, holding on to the remote, saying things are slow, so he has slowed down his life. That's not a man. That's a pet. Good for the weekend, good for the holiday, dangerous for the future.
You guy. All right. That's number 3, his engagement. Is there a number 4?
Engagement. Number 4 is EQ, his emotional intelligence. As a man develops, he begins to be more in control of his emotions. He doesn't have these outbursts. He knows, I cannot be a prisoner of a moment. I'm already a prisoner of my future. I'm already anchored and rooted in who I am. So there may be triggers in the moment, but the triggers cannot allow me to destroy the anchor that is who are holding me in the path and keeping me rooted for my future. So you have to see his EQ. How does he respond when under intense emotion? That is where many of us say that they're abusive, that tells you in his development makeup, he has not factored in EQ. And EQ is a very, very necessary component in how a person relates with his environment and the people that will come into his life.
This is good. All right. So his emotional intelligence, but again, you can tell, isn't it? If you are in a relationship, it is easy to tell. Yeah, right?
You can tell, because his intellect, as he's developing his intellect, the purpose of building his intellect is now to know how to act when angry, not react when angry, how to act when angry, how to act when tired, how to act when busy. He knows, he now has the presence of mind. That is what intellect is, the presence of mind. What is the important thing that I ought to do when angry, when under stress, when sick, when tired, when not clear over something, when I don't understand things? Because a man who argues with women and argues all the time and argues about everything, chances are he is not fully confident in his intellect as a person. He feels like, if you don't get my point, you don't respect me. But a man can allow you not to get his point and go and be secure, allowing you to make the mistake and move back and go and keep building, because he is not there to win arguments. But without emotional intelligence, that is why men are doing more gossip nowadays than women, because we have no EQ. Our EQ is lost. We've been feminized so much until you don't even know there are things men never did.
Awesome. Is there a number 5, a number 6, and how many are there?
When There are 7. I'll give you 5. The 2 we will turn it into a book.
Right. Cool. So we go to.
Thing is how number 5 is how the people he guards.
The people he
guards.
Spell that for me, please.
Guard. 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 You see, there are some relationships that will define for you the kind of man that he is.
Yeah.
When you see a man gossiping with friends, he's not loyal to the absent, it is a sign that he's not loyal to you.
Right.
A man must know how to guard his heart and guard the people who have played a role in their development. I've seen many times as I work with people, when you mentor people, is that when a man starts falling in love, he begins to expose everybody. Because the woman will say, I don't like this friend of yours. So do I. You easily will betray your brothers because you feel like, I really need to I can't do without this woman. You'll betray your mother, you'll abandon your sister, you'll abandon the responsibilities in the house because you really must get this woman.
Yeah.
And those men who have no guards are easily manipulated.
Yeah.
Because they feel like, there are people who may not be important to you, but they're significant to me. And when you're receiving Welly, you are receiving this institution.
Yeah.
This institution has some people you will get along with, and some people you will not get along with, and some people you will struggle to get along with.
Right.
But they make up this thing called Welly Odendo.
Right.
So you can't come with an axe and start chopping and saying, get these ones out so that I can get in. If these ones are in, I'm out. That is a very, very dangerous environment, because if you betray your men, the men who went to war with you to find the inspiration that you found, now maybe there is a need to introduce another person, and the other person wants to chop down the tree. 7 years later, maybe the things don't work as you projected. You will find that I betrayed my brother for money, for opportunity, for a woman, and that is not. So a man must have some guards, and those guards will tell you these are the key players in his life.
Yeah, awesome stuff.
Yeah.
Earlier on, we talked about the things that people are looking for, or the society is looking for in a conditioned man. Things like being macho, dressing well, being able to please a woman in bed, and stuff like that. Does the authentic man also come along with that stuff?
You see, the authentic man, I think the authentic man is like a flower. Yeah. Flowers don't run around looking for bees. They just blossom and bees come. Yeah. They just blossom and the bee will come for nectar. Right. That's the authentic man. He's not obsessed by what does that woman think. They're not obsessed with that. They just blossom. They take a dream, take a goal, put it in an environment, master that environment so significantly that it starts producing and generating and creating a sustainable path for life. Yeah. And by just blossoming, the bees come. The conditioned man is so obsessed by the sentiments of women, the sexiness of things, and they're always trying to become more charming because they're operating in charm. They're not in capacity. The authentic man just blossoming is just they're ever building their capacity. This one is just building a charm angle by which they will get in, but they don't have the capacity to sustain a life once it is inside.
Awesome. Now, how do you say this? Because looking at what you've just said, the conditioned man is trying as much as possible to measure up. So where is the part for growth for the authentic man? Is there a time that he arrives, no more growth needed and stuff like that?
The authentic man is ever hungry to grow. And that is what keeps him in that path of authenticity.
And also, does it also mean that he is not afraid to say that I have not arrived? He's not. There's a
tenderness the authentic man walks with, and a toughness he works with that you don't even know the blend.
Yeah.
Because he has the blend of tender and tough. The conditioned man is either too tough or too tender. But the authentic man has blended tough and tender into one.
It's balanced.
So that's what he measures his growth. He has fused two diametrically opposed ideals and ideas into one, that those who come around them, they feed off their tenderness, and at the same time they toughly go for things and break hard ground, and they're pursuing things not from an arrogant, hey, see what I've done, you guys. So his growth is towards more blending of the tough and tender nature that we find in God himself, because God comes out in toughness and he comes out in tenderness in equal measure.
This is exciting stuff, Welly. I'm so grateful for you sharing with us your wisdom as far as manhood is concerned. I'm going to go back to the last question, and it's something that you've already mentioned, and it threw me off balance. You talked about the priest, the provider, the mentor,
and the
protector. Those don't define a man, an authentic man?
They necessarily don't, because those are stereotypes.
So, there's this idea that women have been taught, especially in the church circles, that the real man should, be a priest in the house, should be reading for us the Bible in the house every evening, and maybe leading worship and preaching to us. Where does that play?
You see, in an authentic space, nobody does. In an authentic space, people are motivated to do by themselves. In an enabling environment, it's not the need to do the prayer. It's me to enable you now to desire prayer and start praying by yourself. It's me to create an environment that I work, that makes you desire to work. It's me to create an environment that you actually see the power of prayer, the power of work, the power of thought, the power of these things, and you actually begin to pattern your life because you are seeing the produce. When we say these 4 or 5 things, then they're easy when they're said, because a man will always feel I am failing. Because today you are a priest, then when you can't provide, your wife is making more than you. Your wife feels like, because you can't provide, I cannot submit to you because you have failed in this one aspect.
I hear you.
Provision is a requirement in every home.
Yeah.
The enabling environment is where the resources are used for the mastery of the environment, the attainment of goals, and the glorifying of God.
Right.
Now, in an environment where the woman earns more, so who is the provider there?
Yeah, the woman.
So, the woman. Now, does that mean now she cannot function as a woman? Because once you are a provider, automatically you are the priest, or automatically you are the protector or anything. If maybe you date a woman who works in the defense forces, chances are you can knock your teeth off.
Yeah, I hear you. I really do.
But whoever is at the place, whoever is best equipped, must find an environment where they can channel their equipment without necessarily being predicated that it must be the man doing it.
Good.
That is undue pressure.
Right.
It is driving men up a vertical wall, and they are breaking down and that is why most men are not fitting in the church. Most men are not fitting in religious circles, because they feel in the religious circles, you will always be short. By the time you're a priest, you're failing as a provider. By the time you're a provider, you're failing as a protector. By the time you're a protector, you will always be short. But in the midst of the many things, you ought to create the environment where a priestly culture can grow, a provisionary culture can grow, a learning culture can grow, and you are enabling it so that people are motivated to do it, not you the one to generate and do it yourself.
Awesome. No, you're not a one-man show. The only one who is anointed to do all that stuff.
Yeah.
Is it scriptural, by the way, if we can just delve into it a bit? Is the idea that a man